children, how are you? This morning I want to explain sixth lesson from sixth class. Already we explained half part. Coming to this second part, look at this picture. Look at this map. In this map, important rocks outside in Andhra Pradesh. Look at here, Guntur. It is near Vinukonda. One of the rock sites are there, and Prakasam, Naidupalli, Singarenikonda. It is Nellore district, Kavali, Nandipadu, and Chittoor district, Renigunta, Srikakulam, Srikalahasti, and Kadapa district, Dappala, Chintagunta, Anantapur district, Velupu Madugu, and Budagavi, Kurnool district, Ketavaram, Bollaram, and Adoni, and Kavaligutta, Kalavabugga. These Kurnool, Gunturu, Prakasam, Nellore, Chitturu, Anantapur. This district we have important rock sites in Andhra Pradesh. Coming to this lesson, hunter-gatherers in our time. Several groups of people live by hunting and gathering food in different parts of the world. In our state, Yanadis and Chenchus still very recently lived in this manner. Scholars have tried to live among them and understand their lives. Historians try to imagine the lives of people who lived in the forest thousands of years ago. Chenchu hunter-gatherers 80 years ago and shared living. Early people lived in a small group and lead a nomadic life. Women and men both participated in hunting and food gathering. Women and children were more effective in food gathering and hunting of small animals. Hunting large animals taken many days of tracking to distinct place done mostly by the men. Hunter-gatherers shared the food they collected with all the members of the group. They are not storage food grains, as it consisted mainly perishable things like meat, fish, fruits, leaves, tubers, and small quantities of wild grains and pulses which we eat today do not perish so quickly. We also have jar and tins to share them for months. The earliest people did not keep storage because of it would be difficult to carry them around as they migrate from one place to another place. Microthlis means is small group of nomadic people means they want to shift one place to another place. They did not concentrate in one place. And they also took all important decisions by discussing together. They hunted wild animals. Hunter-gatherers had a great respect and regard for the forest plants and trees and animals, rivers and hills. They often worshipped them so that they may get enough food all the time. From gathering to growing food, thousands of years human beings lived by hunting and gathering. They took to growing crops only about 12,000 years ago. Around 12,000 years ago, there were major changes in the climate in the world as increasingly became warmer. Forest turned into the grassland. These grasslands provided fodder and grazing animals like cattle, sheep, and goats. As the early people began to came into the contact with these grasslands and animals, they gradually tried to control them. This is called domestication of plants and animals. Let us see what is this mean, what that is lead to the people. Learning to grow crops and tend the animals. How they are learning how to growing crops. And men and women and children probably observed the places where edible plants were found. How new plants sprouted from seeds, etc. Perhaps they began looking after plants, protecting them from birds and animals, so that they could grow and the seeds could remain. In this way, different groups of people in different parts of the earth became the farmers. They learned to grow paddy, wheat, barley, pulses, millet, tubers, and vegetables. They learn from each other how to grow and use different kinds of crops and vegetables. Similarly, people may have allowed gentle animals to come near their camps and eat grass and leftover food. They protected these animals from other wild animals. In this process, the herders got plenty of benefits like regular support of meat, animals, skin, and milk. Later on, they used oxen, donkeys for carrying loads and plow the field. Domestication. Coming to domestication, people select those plants and animals that gives good yields. Such crops are selected and used showing in the next season. When they allowed selected animals to breed and protect them for their own use, it called domestication. Some people rearing animals, many people continuing the hunt and gathering in the forest. Not all people practiced agriculture in the same way. Initially, many people practiced shifting agriculture like Podu. Some of them realized that fertilize the soil, apply the manure. They had to combine farming with rearing animals which were needed for plowing, transporting, manuring the soil and other purposes. Settled life. When people began growing plants, they had to stay in the same place for a long time, looking after the plants, wearing weeds, driving away animals and birds till the grain ripened. It had to be stored for long periods, about 6 months to 1 year. People had to stay in one place and built houses to store the grains. They constructed huts of stone, wood, mud, and dried grass. Vessels were needed to cook grains and store water, milk, etc. It led to the making of pots, different kinds of. They also stored plants and painting the decorating and pots to give them a better look. Cooking also required the making stove and stones and for graining corns, etc. So the early farmers need to clear forest by cutting trees and branches. They developed a new kind of stone tools which is called Neolith, Neolith by archaeologists. The early farmers settled the right kind of stone which was ground on rock to give it an axe like edge. This axe headed was then fixed to a wooden handle and used to cut tree, etc. This period of early agriculture is called Neolithic period, named after the new tools Neolith. We find earliest evidence for cultivation of crops from 9,000 years ago. In India, there were evidence in the Kashmir around 5,000 years ago and Bihar also. The earliest evidence for the domestication in the Deccan comes from the border of the Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka. They were probably set fire on festival days, causing these ash mounds, such as mounds are found in Kurnool, Mahabub Nagar, and Anandapur district. Cow, dung, ash, neolith, stones, axes, stones, blades, and rudimentary handled posts were also found. In this lesson, we learn how the people developed step by step, and look at this lesson and read, and after then find out the some bit part in your material. Okay, thank you.